is Kirsten Dolick, and I just want to give you a short video describing our course syllabus and schedule for COM 318, Principles of Persuasion. I am a current PhD student in the Brian Lamb School of Communication, and I'm focusing on health communication, and a large part of health communication includes persuading others to participate in healthy behaviors. During the course of this semester, if you would like to get in contact with me, please feel free to do so. The quickest way would be to email me with my email listed here on this syllabus, and it's kdolick@purdue.edu. I'm also happy to meet with you one-on-one or in small groups on campus. My office is in Beering, and we can schedule an appointment at your leisure. So first, I'd like to just go through the syllabus from top to bottom just to clarify anything that may not have been described in detail in the syllabus. So to begin, the textbook that you should get is Perloff's 2017, The Dynamics of Persuasion. That would be the 6th edition. Just take note that whether or not you want to get the text version or the online version is up to you. I do like the online version because there are some interactive tools at the end of each chapter that can help you review, and there's just some mini little quizzes that you may want to take. However, those quizzes are not required by the course, so those would only be to help you do better on the exams. The next thing that you're going to need is a reliable computer with internet access. So as this is a distance learning class, it's imperative that you're able to check your email, as I'll be sending out announcements, and that you have a computer where you can submit your homework on time. On the Blackboard page, there will be some other readings and videos that will be shared with you during each module of the assignment, so please make sure you just keep up to date with Blackboard as we progress throughout the semester. Okay. Now moving down to course objectives. There's 4 primary objectives. First, I would like you to become familiar with the major theories and principles of persuasion and social influence as they are understood by contemporary scholarship. Second, I hope that you understand methods of communication scholars use, as long as other social scientists such as sociologists and psychologists, to study how persuasive situations occur and how we can use those descriptions to be more prescriptive in the future. Thirdly, I hope that you are able to critically evaluate persuasive situations in your day-to-day lives so that you're not easily persuaded by something without understanding the means of the persuader. And lastly, I want you to be able to demonstrate an ability to apply these principles in the development of persuasive messages. It's important to understand that this is a 300 level course, so what I expect you to do well and to take your time on the assignments. A lot of our homework and will include some writing components, and if you feel like that's a struggle that you have, feel free to visit the Writing Center. Going down to course policies, we will communicate primarily through email, as I had stated before. You should definitely expect a response to your email within 24 hours. I'm very quick to respond, so if there's ever a time when I'm not responding, I may have accidentally deleted the email or something, so please send that again. Next, late work is not accepted, and it cannot be made up. So this is really important. I know that there are life happens, but be sure that you turn in your assignments early. So just some ways that you can avoid that are to submit before the deadline and to email me if you have anything upcoming. So, for example, consider if you have a serious illness or injury, you let me know as soon as that happens if we're approaching a deadline. PUSH is not a legitimate documentation of an illness. So with illnesses, those will be determined on a case-by-case basis. If you are absent or unable to turn something in due to the death of a family member, I will need you to talk to the Dean of Students and get a grief absence policy, and then we can work with that on a one-on-one basis. For a university sanctioned event, such as Purdue Athletics or anything else, please let me know as soon as you know if there are conflicts. So you have your seasons scheduled out. Please let me know those dates if any of them conflict with exam times or homework deadlines. If any of you make tournaments this semester and have some additional games that come up, please just let me know those as soon as you do. I'm very flexible and happy to work with students, as I know you have lives and you're each taking a distance learning course for a separate reason. I just would appreciate proactive communication so that we don't get to a situation where you turn something in late and I had no idea why prior to the deadline. Now moving on to SafeAssign. All of your assignments will be turned into SafeAssign, and this will just help me keep track and make sure no one's copying and pasting or plagiarizing from other sources. So please always check SafeAssign on your submissions. Here are some definitions of plagiarism, and they are consistent with many others that you see in your other classes. So copying someone else's work and claiming it as your own, paraphrasing someone else's work and claiming it as your own, excessive collaboration, and then lastly would be self-plagiarism. If you have any sort of disability that would require an accommodation, such as an extension on exam times, please let me know that as soon as possible, and I'm happy to accommodate within the exams or any other way that you need. Grading. So please, after you receive your grades back, wait 24 hours to discuss a grade with me. I just want to be sure that grades are being discussed based on merit and not based on emotion. So I'm happy to talk with you, and if you think that there's any sort of discrepancy that you want to go over, we can do that. Just wait 24 hours afterward. Okay, now going down to course requirements. And this is when you really want to pay attention. So the course is divided into 4 modules and 1 final project. Each module includes homework, discussion boards, and exams. So the homework is 70 points, and it's a series of open-ended responses usually that encourage you to define key terms from the text and then apply them to your own lives, as well as describe situations using course content that I provide to you. The discussion board, I will post 2 prompts intended to promote discussion among students. Each student is required to reply to one of the discussion prompts and comment at least 1 time to a response made by a peer. So with the discussion boards, you will make 2 posts. Each will be worth 15 points. Your comments need to be substantive, hovering around 200 words. They will be graded on quality. When writing paragraphs, I recommend using a thesis statement, referencing the textbook or other academic reading material, and providing a thought-provoking analysis. I want to encourage you to share your opinions as long as you are willing to back them up with some sort of argumentation. There will be times when you disagree with a post, and I encourage you to respond. However, please do so with grace and tact, not with fallacious reasoning. Your ability to do so will be reflected in the assigned grade. If you have factual questions, you can email me or post to the discussion board, but those questions won't count towards your discussion grade. The discussion questions are intended to promote healthy discourse and push you beyond the limits of our textbook. And lastly, the exams. So each module includes 1 exam worth 100 points. The exams are primarily pulling from information from the Perloff textbook, so be sure that you read that thoroughly before you go on to take the exam. The exams are not cumulative. Whatever chapters are within the module are what you will be tested on. The exams will consist of 30 multiple choice and true-false questions plus two short answer questions. Once you begin the exam, you'll have 75 minutes to complete it, and make sure you leave enough time to take the exam. So as our exams are due Friday at 11:59, if you only start 15 minutes prior to that, you will only have 15 minutes to take the exam. So make sure that you start the exam at least 75 minutes before the deadline. Do not open the exam until you are ready to take it. I will not reset the exams for you. This is really, really important. Every exam, there are several students who end up getting timed out of Blackboard. So here are some tips to avoid that situation. Use a wired internet connection when taking an exam. So that means use an Ethernet cable, and that I honestly recommend taking the exams in a library on campus instead of at home or in your dorm. Blackboard functions best with Firefox and is known to have issues with Internet Explorer, so please make sure that you're using Firefox when accessing Blackboard and taking your exams. Do not try to take the exams on a phone or a tablet. If there are any problems with your exam, please email me immediately, and I will work with you to see what we can do to solve the problem. And then lastly, the application assignment is worth 200 points, and this is a final project. So in general, you will be taking a theory that we have discussed this semester, dissecting the theory, dissecting some data that I will provide you, and then combining the theory with data to present some creative artifacts, including a flyer and brochure. But more of that will come. That will be around the last 4 weeks of the semester, so I will provide a more detailed description of the final assignment as we approach that time. Okay, so now extra credit. There are two options for earning extra credit. You can earn up to 20 points of extra credit, so that would be around 2%. The first is to use the Communication Department's research participation system. You can earn extra credit by participating in research studies being conducted in the Communication Department at Purdue. Each study is different, and some will be available online, and some will require you to be present in West Lafayette. Some will have no restrictions on participants, and some will be interested in only a specific population. Please check the site often to look for opportunities. Don't assume that online studies available to you at the end of the class. I would check this starting about week 2, and then it will close the week 15 of the semester. So there's kind of a sweet spot into when studies will be available for you to participate in. Keep in mind that the system assigns points to each study depending on how long participation should take. So a study that should take a half an hour is assigned as 0.5 points, or half of a percentage, and a study that should take a full hour is assigned 1 percentage point, and so on. You will receive 5 extra credit points for every half hour that you participate. So in total, you can participate in 4.5 assignment or 0.5 percentages to earn your 2% extra credit, or maybe 1 percentage points to earn your extra credit. Once you complete the extra credit through the online participation system, please feel free to send me a screenshot denoting the earned points, and I will update the gradebook immediately. Otherwise, you will need to wait until the end of the semester when I receive a list from the system administrator on who participated. The second way that you can earn extra credit is by posting a persuasive example. So you can identify quality persuasive messages from the C-SPAN archives, and there's a link provided here in your syllabus. And then you can post it to the Blackboard page along with a paragraph-long explanation of what makes it noteworthy. Please make sure the example is suitable to the audience. Each example you post is 10 points, and you can post up to 2 times. Feel free to combine the research participation system with the persuasive example to earn extra credit. There is a forum in the discussion board labeled extra credit where you can post those persuasive examples. And then lastly, there's the grading table where you can keep track of your grades that you earned throughout this semester. So now that we've discussed the syllabus, I'm going to quickly look at the schedule with you. So as I discussed earlier, there are 4 major modules throughout the semester that you will complete. So in the schedule, I describe the length of the date range that you will be working on this, the topics covered in that module, and then the chapters in which you need to read. So in the first module, we're going to be reading chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4, and focusing on the foundations of persuasion. The homework will be divided into 2 for this specific module. First will be a personal information sheet, and if you could turn that into me by the 12th, I would appreciate that, just so I get a basic idea of who you are and what your goals are for this course. Homework 1 is going to be due on the final day of the module, and that will be the 26th of January at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You will just download the Word document that I put on Blackboard in the Module 1 folder, fill it out, and then resubmit, and I will grade you in that way. The discussion board is also due on the 26th by 11:59, and you need to respond to 1 prompt that I post and then respond to 1 student. The exam for Module 1 is going to be held on the 26th as well. You have 24 hours to complete the exam, and it is due by 11:59 p.m. So if you would like to take the exam and then turn in the homework, you're welcome to do that, but I recommend that you complete the homework and the discussions prior to beginning the exam, just so you're most prepared. So that sort of major framework is repeated throughout each module. So each will have a homework, a discussion, and an exam, and then chapters to read. The assigned chapters are not in the order in which the textbook always. So instead I separated them by major topics, such as Module 2, How Persuasion Works. If you have any questions related to the due dates or the modules, please feel free to let me know. The final project will be assigned at the end of March after spring break, and then there's some specific deadlines listed here. It's important to know that these deadlines are non-negotiable, as we have the end of the semester would be approaching at that time, so it'd just be impossible to really push things back. So keep that in mind as you prepare your semester plans. I'm looking forward to a great semester. Thank you very much.